All right, first at 6:30, we are live across the state of Texas as this Arctic blast takes hold. We're tracking the roads from Austin to Dallas, certainly here in Houston, as millions of us wake up and brace for this winter storm. Good morning. We appreciate you joining us. I'm Dave Freilich.
Hi, everyone. I'm Stephanie Simmons.
And I'm Kimberly Davis. We have team coverage all morning long here in Houston and across the state.
We want to start with weather and traffic on the ones. Jennifer Reyna, Kim Castro, and Cheetah Craft all on duty for you this morning. It's approaching 6:31. Cheetah, you're up first.
All right. Good morning, guys. And it is a statewide issue. And not only that, it extends well to the northeast portion of our country. But you don't see this on the map all the time, do you? Snow to that transition of sleet or freezing rain. And this morning, area-wide here, it's just plain old rain. So you don't have to worry about any icy conditions early this morning. Again, it's just rain. The reason why temperatures are above the freezing point, you have to head west, northwest of even Bryan College Station at this point to catch those temperatures below freezing. Now, the reason this winter weather advisory was issued now for most of our counties at this point until noon tomorrow, it takes effect at 2 o'clock this afternoon, is because temperatures will continue to drop. So it's late this afternoon into our evening hours, Kim, as these temperatures transition from 30s and 40s to freezing or even 20s overnight. That's when some of the potential for those ice pellets or sleet will develop, especially for our overnight hours.
Yeah, as those temperatures trickle down, it's really going to be an ever-evolving weather story, especially with the kind of precip we're going to be seeing. So yes, a wet rain for this morning. Northern and western counties seeing the first of that wintry mix potential. By this evening, that becomes more widespread. And for tomorrow morning, not out of the question to see a snow flurry with another burst of energy just southwest of Galveston. And the big talker, the wind chills. We're going to be feeling like we're in the teens for much of our northern and western counties. Feels like 21 degrees tomorrow at 8 o'clock at Bush. J. Ray?
And that is exactly why you should delay travel to places and destinations like Austin, Waco, Dallas, Oklahoma until likely after Friday afternoon. Today, right now, we are looking at Harris County. Road conditions are just wet and slippery. You are safe to drive here in town. Just remember your common sense issues like turning on your headlights or reducing your speeds, keeping the distance from the next driver. Hardy Toll Road inbound at Little York, last check, I did see some flashing lights, but I don't see them anymore. So that means that's one less problem and headache for us. Dave, Kim, Steph, that's your latest in traffic. Drive times about 30 minutes from the outskirts on any given highway. Over to you.
All right. Thank you, Jennifer. As the winter storm hits Texas, we want to make sure you and your family are prepared.
Yeah, we're keeping you up to speed on the roads and the power grid conditions.
And just check out the rest of our team coverage this morning. We have crews in East Harris County, College Station, and Waller County.
Our team of reporters extends to North Texas, outside Austin, and in the sleet near San Antonio. David Gonzalez starts us off live on the road for us this morning. David, you've been checking trouble spots on the east side of town.
Hey, good morning, guys. Yeah, we're here in East Harris County on Sheldon Road approaching US 90, and road conditions are wet, but the good news is that traffic is light both on major highways but also on some of these side roads. We approached this area because we heard there was ponding or possible flooding, but the good news is that the rain has been pretty light out here for the last 20-25 minutes. Here's a live look at the road right now. We're stuck at a light right now, but we're approaching US 90 where road conditions have been moving, and any possible flooding or ponding that was in this area has gone down, which is very good news. But if you are going to be driving around any part of Harris County or surrounding counties today, just keep in mind what J. Ray and others have been telling you. Roads are going to be wet, and also conditions could get dangerous as soon as we get below freezing temperatures, so be mindful and use caution later today. David, Kimberly, back to you.
All right, David Gonzalez keeping up with the road preparations for us this morning. David, thanks. Now, the cold front made its way into College Station overnight.
And temperatures there continue to drop this morning.
Adam Bennett is there live this morning.
And Adam, we know there was a lot of prep work ahead of this cold snap.
There sure was, Kimberly and Dave. TxDOT pre-treated the roads around the Bryan College Station area, including Highway 6 behind me. But because of this rain, they are having to go over some of the spots again just to make sure that pre-treatment is still there. We saw crews here probably about 10 minutes ago just on this overpass behind us. Now, the good news here right now is that the temperature is still in the mid-30s, so that will make conditions not as dangerous as if they were below freezing and some of those icy spots could develop. But that is the concern as the day goes on. and the temperature is expected to drop. That overpasses like these could develop some icy spots that could make it very dangerous for drivers. So TxDOT officials and others are urging people to stay off the roads if they don't absolutely have to be there. Also, we are just down the street from Texas A&M. They have canceled classes today on their College Station campus because they are expecting these winter weather conditions to worsen, and officials say they will decide by mid-afternoon on what happens with classes tomorrow. Kimberly and Dave.
Adam Bennett, thank you. Now we want to take our coverage to Walnut County.
Yeah, Ugochi Aloka is live at the Buc-ee's off Highway 290 there. Ugochi, a lot of cold travelers, I would imagine, this morning.
That's right, Dave. Really cold travelers here, and lots of them here at Buc-ee's in Walnut County, which is also under a winter weather advisory like the rest of our area, several parts of our areas. And I talked to a lot of drivers here who came, and they say they're getting an early start to prepare for those freezing temps before they get out on the road. So this is video when we first got here around 4 a.m. and we've seen dozens of people come to this Buc-ee's in Walnut County to gas up. Drivers tell me the same thing. They want their gas tanks full just in case they get stuck on the roads if they iced over. So far, we've experienced cold rain and strong winds this morning, having little impact on the roads for now. However, one driver tells me what he's most concerned about when it comes to winter conditions striking our area later.
I think the biggest issue is the overpasses. You know, if it starts to freeze, it'll get a little bit slippery.
Well, you heard it there, and of course, several drivers coming to Buc-ee's where many of us feel good, right? Lots to get here, lots to make sure you're prepared. And drivers also telling us that they plan to drive slow in order to make sure they get to their destination safely today. Dave?
That's a good way to do it. Ugochi Aloka live in Walnut County. Ugochi, thanks. Now, our team coverage is not just here in Houston. It is across the state this morning. We just heard from Adam, David, and Ugochi here in the Houston area. Now we want to get to some reporters from our sister stations across Texas seeing the other impacts from this weather. Chris Sadeghi in Dallas starts us off.
I'm Chris Sadeghi in Denton, where the ground is now completely white underneath a blanket of this wintry mix, combination of freezing rain and sleet. We have not seen snowflakes yet, although we expect that transition to snow will happen in the near future. More importantly, though, I-35 is underneath this blanket of the wintry mix. We saw a truck come by a minute ago and try to clear that middle lane for people who are out on the roads. Even though schools have been canceled in Denton and most of the area, we still expect the morning commute could be a little bit messy once people start getting on the road. We've already seen one wreck overnight. It is slick to drive on. We're not used to driving on it in Texas, so if people are getting out on the road, they'll want to take it slow, be very careful because it is slick and it's going to keep coming down.
Good morning, I'm Connor Borden. I'm in Round Rock, which is about 20 minutes north of Austin, where we are starting to see the impacts of a night full of freezing temperatures, rain, and sleet. Luckily, as of now, people seem to be staying off the roads, which are icy in many areas. On top of that, we have dozens of low water crossings closed this morning due to flooding, and conditions are just expected to worsen throughout the day as those temperatures are expected to plummet and roads could get icy.
I'm Jeremy Baker in Kerrville, about an hour northwest of San Antonio. The sleet began falling around 2 a.m. this morning. Thankfully, sleet. So far, not much freezing rain. At least you get traction when there is some sleet. Conditions expected to deteriorate throughout the day today. Then the bitter cold moves in overnight tonight. We're talking wind chills near zero by tomorrow morning. Back to you.
A big concern during weather like this is, of course, power outages.
But the good news is ERCOT believes there is enough power to avoid any rolling blackouts. This is a look at real-time data of supply and demand across the state, according to ERCOT. Our energy expert, Ed Hers, was up early with us this morning. He says things appear to be going okay so far.
So what I see this morning is ERCOT seems to be holding up pretty well. The number of outages up in the northern part of the state are consistent really with just kind of down lines. So I don't see any stress points coming up for the day.
ERCOT projects the peak power demand to hit Friday morning around 8, when we could see the coldest weather across the state.
Many school districts are considering early closures or canceling after-school activities for today because of the bad weather. So far, Navasota and Anderson-Shiro schools are closed, and Waller and Sealy schools are closing 2 hours early today. Fort Bend, Tomball, Stafford, Galena Park, and Channelview ISDs are all canceling their after-school activities. You can find that information scrolling at the bottom of your screen all morning long, and you can also visit our website, khou.com.